plan. Before entering into a class, we have to plan what to teach and how to teach and what are the things we can incorporate in the teaching. That all we have to plan. So, lesson plan is a plan prepared by a teacher for a single class. That is a class of 45 minutes or 40 minutes. So, it's a plan prepared by a teacher for an hour in the school guidance. Okay, so here it's given. This is a plan of a detailed plan of a teacher. That is description, the course of instruction or learning trajectory for a lesson. For example, if you are going to teach a particular topic, that is, you can't take the whole lesson in a particular hour. Okay, so you have to take only a portion of the lesson. So it may be half of the lesson or 1/3 of the lesson. Okay, so you have to plan only for that portion only. That is, you have to plan for the 1/4 or 1/3 of the lesson. So here you have to consider three important things. That is, the triangle of the learn. That is, learning triangle. First one is objectives. Second one is learning experiences. Third one is learning outcomes. See here. See, first you have to think about the objectives. Why we are going to teach this lesson? So, before start your teaching, you have to think why you have to teach that particular topic in the class. So, for that, you have to prepare the student's mind. So, you have to explain the learning objectives first. So, this is called objectives, learning objectives. Then, learning experiences. Learning experiences. Then, outcomes. Here, outcomes may be in the form of evaluation. So, before preparing a lesson plan, the teacher should decide all the three factors. For what purpose you are going to teach the particular lesson, then what are the learning experiences you are going to give to the students, and what will be the outcome and how you will assess the outcome. Because as a teacher you have to teach the students and you have to assess the students also at the end of the class. So before winding up the class, you have to ask some questions from the lesson you have taught today. So you have to assess the mode of evaluation also before going into the class itself. Okay, so the teacher has to plan all these three things before entering into a particular class. That is very important. That you are going to do in the lesson plan. So this preparation is called lesson plan. Okay, so what you are going to, what purpose you are going to teach and how you are going to teach. That is what are the teaching experiences. So what is the learning experiences, or here what means, what are the exams going to give in the classroom, what are the teaching aids you are going to show it to the students, what are the experiences you are going to share with the students. Like that you have to plan everything. What you are going to write it in the blackboard and what you are going to dictate to the students as a homework or something. Like that all the activities that are carried out in the classroom situation in the 40 minutes in order to make them understand the topic. So you have to make them understand the topic. So for that you can give so many examples or stories or illustrations, or you can show some teaching aids. Like that you can give so many experiences to the students. Okay, what you are going to do in the classroom, that you have to plan in the topic. The third one is evaluation. How to evaluate the students. So at the end of the class, whether they understood the topic you taught in the classroom, that also you have to plan well before entering the class. So at the end of the class, how will you assess the students' mind, understand the students' cognitive level? That also you have to plan before entering into the classroom. Do you understand? What are the things you have to have in your mind before writing your lesson plan? So these all three should be correlated. When you decide to teach, for example, in this class, I am going to teach you about the lesson plan. So my aim is the preparation of lesson plan. That is the objective. Okay, so for that I am giving so many experiences. That is, I am using blackboard, I am using PPT, I am using so many illustrations and examples. These are all the learning experiences I am giving in the classroom. So what will be outcome? At the end of the hour, you will be able to write a lesson plan individually. By your own, you can write your lesson plan. So that is the evaluation. So at the end of the class, I have to assess your understanding level. Okay, so that is also you have to plan now. Okay, as a teacher, before entering to every classroom, you have to plan all these three, and all these three should be correlated and interrelated. Okay, these three should be interrelated. So at the end of the evaluation, I have to correlate this evaluation with the objectives again. Okay, so with the objectives means whether I achieved these objectives or not. So at the end of the class, if you write your own lesson plan frequently, then fluently, without any mistake, that means I achieved my objective. When I entered in the classroom, I got an idea that you have to write your lesson plan. So at that time, when I entered the class, I have the objective of making you to write a lesson plan. And I gave you so many illustrations and explanations. And at the end of the class, you are writing the lesson plan by your own. So that is the objective. So outcome. So I can correlate the evaluation with the objective, whether I achieved that objective or not. Like that, you have to think well before entering each class. Okay. So for you have to prepare for 40 minutes class in this day. Okay. So here a lesson plan is the detailed description of the course of instruction or learning trajectory for lesson. So daily lesson plan is developed by a teacher to guide class learning. The details will vary depend on the preferences of the teacher and the subject being covered and the needs of the students. So the lesson plan may vary. So this is for you, that is for the BA students I am teaching. So I am giving you only the PPT and I am using only the blackboard. For if you are going to teach a lesson to a small kid, then you have to show the actual things. Or for a 6th or 7th standard student, you can show even a picture. For example, if you are going to teach about the apple, for an LKG student means they don't know anything about apple. Then you have to show an apple. Then you have to show it and this is an apple, this is a color, you can eat, this is a fruit, like that, you have to explain. But if it is for a 6th or 7th standard student, you need not show an apple. Instead, you can use the picture of the apple at least. Okay? So like that, you can use the teaching aid according to the needs of the students. Now, I need not show any teaching aid for you. That is for apple. Because when I say apple, you can imagine the size and shape of the apple. Okay, so according to the needs of the student, it may vary. And according to the preference of the teacher, that's also my preference. I am teaching for the art students. So I taught you in this way. Like that, you can decide according to the preference of the teacher. I decided to take only PPT and blackboard as teaching aid. Like that, if you teach this the same lesson to your students, you can take any other mode of teaching aids. Okay, it's all depending upon the preference of the teacher and the subject being covered and the topic to be covered in the classroom. That also decides the thing. So if you are going to explain about an African elephant, they might have seen the Indian elephant. So at least you would have shown the picture of African elephant. Okay, then only they can identify the difference between Indian elephant and African elephant. So the content also may decide the teaching aids. Okay, so the learning experiences also depends upon the content of the syllabus. Okay, so content of the syllabus and the preference of the teacher and the needs of the students. These all three things should be considered before preparing the lesson plan. You understand? Okay, next. So here you have to decide what I am teaching and who I am teaching. First you have to decide who I am teaching. The level of the students. First, this is the first question. You have to decide. See here I am telling that I am teaching to the B.Ed students. Okay. So who I am teaching? Decide the rest of the things. Okay. If you are going to teach to the LKG student, the aid may be different. The learning experiences may be different. Okay. Then if you are going to teach in the 6th or 8th standard students, the level will be different. And if you are going to teach the 11th or 12th standard students, there is also a difference. Okay. So first you have to decide who am I teaching? For whom I am teaching? Okay. This is the first question you have to answer. Then second, what am I teaching? What I am going to teach now? So the content. Nothing but the content. The subject. So it all depends on the subject. If you are mathematics or accountancy student, then you have to use the blackboard. Okay. So if you are going to teach a theory class, then this is maybe different. You can write the vocabulary on the blackboard and you can ask them to practice the skills. Okay, if you are a social student, you can use the map drawing and the chart, globe, like that. You have to decide all these things. Okay, so what am I teaching? The content is also deciding that. The third question is, how will I teach it? How will I teach? How can I teach? So in the lecture method or in the demonstration method or in the form of project, I can give it in the form of project. I can ask you collect some materials regarding to the title. For example, if you are going to teach about the leaders of national freedom fighters, okay, I can give you some project like you collect the pictures of national freedom fighters. This is a product. This is also a method. So when you are collecting details about the freedom fighters, then you can share it and you can discuss about them in the classroom. I can use discussion method because you might have studied all these things in the lower classes. Okay, about the freedom fighters history, you might have studied under the lower classes. So I can discuss in the classroom. Okay, so I can use lecture method, but I can't use the discussion method here in this class because lesson plan is a new topic for you. So I can't use the discussion method for preparation of this topic because preparation of lesson plan is a new topic for you. Okay, so you have to decide what are the experiences you can give it in the classroom. That is the thing. How will I teach? So whether I can use lecture method or whether I can use demonstration method or whether I can use project method or discussion method, like that you have to decide the methodology and the teaching aids and the experiences and the illustrations to be given in the classroom. These are all the factors you have to decide in the third one. Okay, then last, how will I know if the students understand? That is the last one, that is the evaluation part. How can I understand? That is whether you understand the topic or not. Whether you understand the topic is, how can I analyze the evaluation? That is the evaluation topic here. How can I evaluate you? How can I assess you? Whether you understood or not. So I have to select some methods. That is, I can ask some questions. Maybe oral questions. Because I can't give you project in the classroom. Okay. So I can ask some questions here in the oral form. Or otherwise, I can use some quiz method. Okay. Otherwise, I can show some pictures. I can make you to identify the correct one. Okay. I can use the teaching aids like that. Okay. So how can I evaluate? That is also to be decided here. So now you have to evaluate the students before coming out of the class. Whether they understood or not, that is very important. Teaching is not only important, that is the evaluation of the teaching is also important. So you have to analyze whether they understood or not. You have to assess them. So assessment methods may be in the form of oral questions, or maybe in the form of quizzes, okay, or in the form of some identification. Okay, you can use some teaching aids. You can use the teaching aids of the electric board, matching board. Like that, you can use some teaching aids. With the help of these aids, you can assess the understanding level of the students. Okay, so before coming out of the class, you have to analyze the understanding level of the students. Then only you can skip on to the next topic. So before understanding the first topic, if she passes to the next one, she will not understand the whole lesson. So at every part of the content, you should have the evaluation. So when you skip to the next part, you have to analyze the understanding level of the students. So here we have only 4 parts, that is the 4 questions. That is, who am I teaching, and what I am teaching, and how I am teaching, and how much I am teaching. Okay, do you understand up to this? We go to the next one. So for that you have to plan well. Then reflection is do. That is, you are writing the lesson plan. Then you check. You can use it. You can take in your own way. That is, before entering to the class, you can prepare and you can practice well. Sometimes if you go for the lesson plan to the class and if you are running like that, so before the 15 or 20 minutes you will complete the whole content. And you will stand like this, what to do must, like that you will say. So you have to practice, but that is the thing, check. You have to check the content. So you have to include so many examples and illustrations. Then only you can grab that content to 40 minutes. The content may be very small one, but you have to teach the particular content to 40 minutes. So for that you have to give so many illustrations. Okay, because the content is already given in the textbook, and in all over Tamil Nadu they are using the same textbook, and all the students are having the free textbook of government. Okay, so they can study from the textbook. Then what's your role? You have to explain the content. So you have to give so many examples and you have to show the teaching aids. Okay, you have to use so many other methods, that is experiential learning, like that discussion method, demonstration method, like that you have to use so many methods you have studied under B.Ed. Okay, then you have to explain the content. Okay, you have to check it whether the time is right. Whether you can, sometimes you may have all the teaching aids, okay, and if you start the content, you will run and run away, and within 20 minutes you will explain everything, but without using any teaching aids. They may do like that. The students may do this mistake usually. So don't do like that. You use the teaching aids whenever it is needed. When you explain the content, you use the teaching aid. Then and there you explain it with the help of teaching aid, by using the blackboard. Like that you can use the teaching aids. Okay. Then change. When you check the timing, when you check the content, you may face the difficulties. See, in case of micro teaching, you may write the episodes for 2 or 3 pages. When you start, the time starts now. When you start and explains the skill, okay, the time will be maybe 2 or 3 minutes. So your teacher may ask you to repeat the content again, because micro teaching lesson should come to 5 or 6 minutes. Yes. So like the same way, here also you have to prepare the content for 40 minutes. So again, this is also a very big task, because the content may be for 2 or 3 pages, but you have to teach the content for 40 minutes. So you have to check it first, then you can change. You can change means here you can modify the learning experiences. So how can you explain with all the experiences, that is learning experiences, maybe in the form of pictures, even you can show some YouTube links to the students, even in their textbook they are having the QR codes, and you can scan the QR code and you can give some additional information to the students, and they are having the all the schools or even government schools are having these ICT facilities now, and you can use all the available e-resources. You can show them to the, you can show all the, that is augmented learning, virtual learning, and all you know that, So you can use it to the students for the explanation. Okay? Next. Steps in one lesson plan. Here we are using the Herbertian method. The Herbert, he suggested 6 formal steps, the development of lesson plan. That is, first one is preparation. Preparation or introduction. Then second one is presentation. Then third one is comparison. And fourth one is generalization. And fifth one is application. And sixth one is recapitulation. Okay? We'll see it one by one. Right. Next, preparation. So preparation of lesson plan. Here the teacher should prepare the minds of the students, not only the lesson. First you should prepare the minds of the students, because they should be ready to receive your lesson. They have to receive. Teaching is not one-way traffic. They have to receive it back. Okay. So here you have to think about the minds. You have to think about the mindset of the students, whether they are in the form of receiving your content. So for that you have to motivate the students. Okay. So this knowledge is to be like here it should be linked. It's not like it should be linked with the previous knowledge of the students. So here you have to start from the previous knowledge only. Okay. So whether known to unknown. That is the previous maybe we have known things. You can connect the known things to the unknown things. Here I am going to link the micro teaching with the macro teaching. This is for macro teaching. Okay. So here from known to unknown. Okay. So here you have studied individual skills, micro skills, and you have taken classes for 5 to 6 minutes. But here you are going to take class for 40 to 45 minutes. Okay, this is macro teaching. That is micro teaching. This is called macro teaching. Okay, so you have to associate that. Okay, here how to introduce a new topic. So in order to motivate the students, you have to introduce the topic. That is very important. You have to catch their minds. Okay, by motivation only you have to catch their minds. Okay, so here you can ask some questions from the previous lesson. This is the traditional way. And you can ask some general questions now to bring them to class. Okay, so you can ask some general questions regarding their interest, like from cinemas, okay, from books, from social media, from newspaper. You can ask so many questions related to the ideas trending nowadays. Okay, then they will answer definitely, because they may be interested in the new topic, So they may ask, definitely they will answer your questions. Okay, so like that you can ask so many questions from out of the syllabus to the syllabus. Okay, so you have to see, when you study the introduction of the lesson, you studied about this skill only. Because for 5 minutes you are asking questions related to the topic only. So at the end of the skill only, you are going to declare the topic. And that is also to come from the mouth of the students. Okay, so that is the thing here. So for that, you can ask some questions. Then by asking questions, they may reveal their ignorance, or you may arouse. So sometimes, if I am asking about the lesson plan, you may not know anything about the lesson plan. before this class, the previous the topic, you don't know anything about the lesson plan. So you may reveal your ignorance. That is also a way of motivation. Because I told you, you have to write at least 25 lesson plans in the next year for the level 1 and another 25 lesson plans for level 2. So you have to write 50 lesson plans in total. So this may reveal your ignorance. That will motivate you because you have to listen. No other way, you have to listen. So this is a form of motivation. Next, you can arouse the interest and curiosity to learn a new matter. You may ask some questions that will make them curious to the topic. Okay, you can ask some questions. Then by presenting a demonstration, the teacher can lead the students to the discussion. Sometimes they ask the students to discuss anything about, and from that discussion you can get the topic and then you can go to the lesson. Okay. Next. So the second is presentation of the topic. Here the objectives of the lesson should be clearly stated. So in the presentation step, this very important step is the objectives. Okay. Here the people should get some new ideas and knowledge. So the objective, you have to decide about the objectives. So here deciding the objective is the important thing in the presentation. Okay. And both the teacher and people should be active participants in the teaching learning process. So they both should interact each other in the presentation part. So they know to interact. Definitely they know to interact. Then only they can understand. Okay. Next. Comparison and association. When you say something, it will not remain in your mind for a long period. When you associate something with that, then definitely it will be in their mind. For example, when I teach you about lesson plan, you may forget. When I link this lesson plan with your micro teaching, so this is called micro lesson, this is macro lesson. Like that I can correlate the thing. Okay, so like that when I compare these two, when I associate like that, for example, again I am telling the same one. Then I show you an apple to an LKG student, then to a 6th standard student, then to a B.Ed student. Like that I showed so many examples. So when I associate the things, definitely it will remain in your mind for a long period. So when you explain a concept, you should also use the comparison or association. When you teach something, you have to associate that one with their previous knowledge. With their previous knowledge, you have to associate the topic, new topic. Okay. So here compare them with the other set of examples. Sometimes the past learned in the present lesson may be associated with the past learned the previous lesson. That is, yesterday's lesson can be recalled for comparison. Okay. Then comparison helps the students fix the new facts in the mind. When you compare only, it will be fixed in the minds of the students. Otherwise, they may forget. Okay. So when you say something regarding the new knowledge, you have to associate with the previous knowledge. Okay. Next is generalization. Generalization means giving so many examples is association, as far as association. And you have to generalize the ideas. So after that, you have to conclude. So generalization is nothing but concluding. You have to give a single idea to the student. So you can give so many examples. Then after that, you have to conclude all the ideas. For example, they have given so many types of trees and totally they have only shown only one picture. That is generalization is trees. It's not all trees. That's what. So there are so many varieties of trees. But concluding generalization means only one tree. These are all trees. That's all. All coming under trees. So you can give them so many examples. For vegetables, okay. For example, these vegetables names. These are all coming under the group vegetables. This is called generalization. Like that, you can give so many examples and you can associate. See, even you can associate the thing that is like brinjal or carrot is and apple is also red color. Then you can compare them. This is a vegetable, this is a fruit. When you generalize this, you have to generalize that vegetables are brinjal, carrot, beans and all. Okay. So you have to categorize, then generalize. Association means you have to differentiate or you have to correlate with the other thing. Generalization means coming to a conclusion and giving them a conclusion. Okay, that is what generalization. Okay, so here we are giving, for example, we have defined something as objectives and we are giving so many learning objectives, learning experiences in the classroom. And all these learning experiences should be concluded. You can show the teaching aids. Okay, you can use blackboards, you can use PPTs, and you can use some illustration. All these should be concluded, should be generalized. That you have to relate to the objectives. Okay. Next, application. That is, application is using the ideas in the practical life. This is called application. When you teach them about banking, you have to you can ask them to use the forms in the blanks. Okay. So if they are able to fill the forms in the blanks means then they are understood your concept. Okay. See, if you teach them the concept, then if they apply that in any other place, that is called application. For example, in your English teaching itself, you can take in that way. You can explain the rules and regulations of converting the direct speech into indirect speech. You can give some rules, no? Step by step, you can explain. Then after that, you give a sentence in direct speech. You can ask the students to convert it into indirect speech. Like that in Tamil also. Okay, you can ask them to change it into another form. That is application. Okay, so you are learning come to an end only at the end of the application. If they are able to apply it in practical life, then only you are learning achieve their objectives. Okay, so at the end of the stage, the students make use of all the adequate knowledge in the familiar and unfamiliar situation also. Okay, the new knowledge gained by the student will become a permanent in the mind of the student. Because when you apply the thing, definitely it will remain in your mind for a long period. Okay, next. Then recalculation. So last step in the lesson plan. The teacher tries to ascertain whether the students have understood or not. So you want to know whether you understood the topic or not. Because as a teacher, you have the motive of teaching that particular topic. So whether they understood or not is the main aim. Okay. So you have to assess them. So here for recalculation, you can summarize the topic. And at the end of that, for assessing or evaluating, you can ask some questions for review. Review means here you can ask some questions, list of questions, and here also some moral questions. Okay, you can ask some questions, and if they give correct answer means you can understand that they understood. Okay, so it may be in the form of recapitulation, may be in the form of summarizing the content, or in the form of asking some questions. Okay, next. Structure of a 4-4 lesson plan. Here the content. The teacher can take the content from the textbook. Okay, you need not worry about the content because using the textbook. So you can elicit the content from the textbook. So they can develop the skills in the cognitive, affective and psychomotor domain after attending the PT session. That is, you have to use all the domains. That is, you can, whether the students are able to apply the skills in all the domains, that is important. So, now getting knowledge is not more important. So, you have to understand it, and they have to apply it in their life. That is important. So, using the knowledge in all the three domains is important. Next. Specification or behavior outcomes. Here we have shown the outcomes. The outcomes should be related to the objectives. So here, when you write the objective, the same content should be given for the this specification also. Okay. When I explain the lesson plan model, I will give you the sample. Okay. So the statement of the specification contains an action verb. Here the specification is nothing but the specific objectives. It should be in the form of action verbs only. See, if I ask you whether you understood the content? Yes. You say yes. But I don't know whether you understood or not. Because I can't open your skull and I can't analyze whether you understood or not. So, understanding is not an action verb. If you write a test, I can assess your marks. I can assess the marks. Okay. So, writing, reading or applying. When I give you a form and if you are able to fill the form without any mistake, that means I achieved my objectives. Like that I can show so many examples. See here the specification that should be in the action verbs only. That is explaining, stating, like that only you have to use. Then state here, these are the objectives, these are the associated action verbs. See the objective is knowledge and this is Bloom's taxonomy. I think you know that. And the cognitive skills you have 6 parts now. So cognitive knowledge, comprehension. Comprehension is nothing but understanding. So comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. So knowledge means you have to get the previous knowledge of the student. This is a very important part of your lesson plan. This is the important part. You have to use only these action verbs in order to achieve the objectives. And the objectives also should be in this form only. So when you go to a first floor, you have to step into the first step, then to the second step, then to the third step. Like that it will go, no? So like that, this knowledge is the first step, then comprehension is the second step, and application third, analysis, synthesis, then evaluation. So this is it should go in this form only, and you have to use only these terms in the objectives because objectives should have only action verbs. Okay, so what are the verbs in action verbs related to these objectives are listed here. I will give you for Tamil also, no? The same list of words I will give it for the translation of these words. I will give it to you in Tamil also. Okay, so you have to use these words only in order to achieve these objectives. Okay, here in the knowledge part, knowledge means only previous knowledge only. So if I ask you what is her name, okay, she said Preeta. Okay, see, Preeta is defined by her mother and father, not by me. So knowledge. Okay, like that. When India has become independent, 1947. This is also your previous knowledge. Okay, like that, your previous knowledge only should be recalled in the first step. Because already I told you known to unknown. Known to unknown. So only from known things you can relate the unknown things. So known things can be related by defining the thing, by listing the thing, by measuring, by naming, by recognizing. What is this? Stop this. This is called a recognition. That's called recognizing. So recognize because it's your previous knowledge. Okay, it's your previous knowledge, okay, no? I don't tell you anything about this one. So you already know what is this. Because it's a topic. Okay, this is called recognition. Reproduce, select, state means listing. Like that. Okay, state, write, underline. These are all the knowledge-based objectives. These are all knowledge-based objectives. Okay. Tamil students also you have to use the same terms in Tamil. Okay. Knowledge first you have to correlate the previous knowledge to the new lesson. So first you have to start from the knowledge-based objective. Second thing is comprehension. Comprehension means understand. Understanding the chain or classified. So in order to comprehend the lesson, the teacher can use so many ways. That is ways of teaching aids. That is called the learning experiences. What are all the activities that are conducted in the classroom are coming under the learning experiences. So in order to explain a particular topic and drawing something on the blackboard and showing you something as a PPT and showing the chalk piece and asking some questions, these are all coming under learning experiences. So here comprehension, for comprehension, you can classify, you can distinguish, okay, you can explain, you can formulate, you can identify, you can illustrate, you can indicate, okay, you can interpret, and you can justify, judge, name, represent, okay, you can use all these words. Okay, when you use a topic for the understanding, then you can use any of these verbs. Okay. Next, application. For application means when you apply the concept that you understand, you have to use these verbs. That is assess, change, choose, conduct, construct, compute, demonstrate and discover, explain, establish, find, generalize, illustrate, modify, predict, perform, select, solve and use. Okay. Next, analysis. Analysis means in order to analyze the thing, in order to see what is this? What is the color of the? White. So this is you are asking, you are analyzing that. If I compare this with the color chalk piece and two or more colors I am showing you, then I ask you, what is this? What is this? This is red color, this is green color, this is blue color. Like that you can differentiate. So these are all analysis. You are comparing the thing. Okay. So you can use all these things in the classroom. You can compare the thing. Already I taught you know about comparison and association. Could you remember in the third step? Okay. So here, in order to compare the thing, you have to use all these things. Analyze, associate, compare, conclude, contrast, criticize, differentiate, identify, justify, point out, resolve, separate. Okay. Next, synthesis. Synthesis means generalization. Already I explained about the generalization, that is concluding. I showed you so many varieties of trees and I categorized under trees. And I recalled you about the names of the vegetables like potato, carrot, beans, and I generalized that all under vegetables. So like that you have to generalize. So for generalizing you can use these terms. That is conclude, combine, drive, discuss, generalize, integrate, organize, prove, restate. Okay. Then last one is evaluation. Evaluation means assessing whether you understood or not. That I have to analyze. So in order to evaluate, I have to associate, I have to choose, I have to compare, I have to criticize, I have to conclude, I have to defend. Because if you know the differences between, for example, if I ask you about the differences between the chair and sofa, you can give some properties of chair and you can give some properties of sofa. This is the analysis only. Okay, so when you compare and analyze and you can conclude, that is called evaluation. We are also here using compare and criticism. And when you hear the criticism, you may ask to criticize the thing. Maybe for example, what are the criticism against chair when compared to sofa? Sofa is comfortable. Yes, it's more comfortable than chair. So it's also criticism. So only coming under evaluation. Because when you analyze the properties of chair and when you analyze the properties of sofa, at the end of the thing, when you understood all the thing only, you can evaluate. And you can conclude that sofa is more comfortable than chair. Is it clear? So, this is called evaluation. Okay. Next, learning experiences. So here, these are the learning experiences. Learning experiences result from the active participation of the students in the similar situation. That is, the teacher provides in the classroom. What are the experiences? What are the activities that are given by the teacher in the classroom is called learning experiences. So it's the interaction between the learner and the teacher. The interaction, classroom interaction. It may also come in under situation provided by the teacher. That is, examples or artificial situation created by the teacher in the classroom is also coming under the learning experience. Then evaluation. Here the teachers can have internal and external methods of evaluation to assess whether their interaction is proper according to the pedagogy of teaching in science classroom or the objectives or learning experience evaluations of these are interrelated and interdependent aspects in the teaching learning process. Now, already I told you at the beginning of the classroom itself, that is the objective should be related to the learning experiences and evaluation. And the evaluation should be again, it should be related to the objective. If you have not achieved the objective, then it should be revised and simply again you have to go for some set of learning. That is at the end of the class I have to ask you whether you understood or not. So if you say yes means, then I will compare the objectives with the evaluation and the objectives. If it is not, the result is negative means I have to teach you again with some other learning experiences. Because this type of learning experience I have given to you is not appropriate to get the evaluation or outcome, proper outcome. Then you have to revise that and you have to go for the new set of learning experiences in different way. Because they have to understand. You are teaching only for the students. Okay, students' understanding level is very, very important than the teaching of the concept. Okay, so you have to make them understand. For that, you have to design the learning experiences. If the outcome is not reached, you have to revise the objectives and you have to revise the learning experiences again. Is it clear? Next, the model lesson plan. Okay, I'll give you the model lesson plan. Thank you.